Right, welcome back to another Sew and Tell. It is Sunday, the 8th of August 2021, just in case you're watching this years later. I never normally mention the year, but I suppose it's worthwhile. And it is nearly 7:30 in the evening, so it's rather late, so excuse me if I'm looking a bit of a state now. I don't know. I didn't look in the mirror before I popped on, so I don't know. Well, I did look in the mirror because I was looking at what I was wearing, but I didn't look at me. And I've been to yoga have this evening, and you're hanging upside down. Like, he was trying to get us to do like handstands and things, but I opted out of the handstands this evening. Well, I always opt out of them. I don't feel like I wouldn't. I think I'd be okay doing a handstand from kind of standing and throwing myself into it, but they kind of want you to do them in these really weird ways. And I was like, and actually this chap I went to his yoga class, I went to him when I was a beginner, and it terrified me so much I didn't go back. And so I was just brave enough to go back, because I started yoga spring 2018, and I was going, fairly regular. Had a few breaks here and there, but then we had that big long break during lockdown. And then there was times I just wasn't feeling it with the gym and things. So yeah, but I think I'm back on it now with, I'm quite enjoying the yoga. So let's hope this continues. So, what did I want to talk? Wow, if you watched my last video, you'll have known I was having this dilemma with this fabric. Where's the dress? Do you know my mum gave me a maxi dress, didn't she, out of this fabric? And I wanted to keep the dress, which I can't find. It's around somewhere. And it's a boob dress, and it was maxi, but it just kind of swamped me. I've cut it off, and as you saw, it's quite short, so it's going to be a beach cover up, because I wanted to get a top out of it. Well, I wanted to get a t-shirt out of it, but unfortunately it just didn't happen. Now, I had a few options, didn't I? And I showed you them. Do you know what? Unless I've got them to hand, I won't go on about those now, but the last one I tried, which I left you with, was the Maria 101 Kirsten kimono tee, and thank you so much for the feedback. And there have been some comments that you've made. It's somebody, I'm sorry, I can't remember who had said it now. I'll have a look back. I'd made lots of them. Actually, I think the person that's made lots of them, I don't think your name comes up. I think it comes up like letters and numbers. And are you Margaret by any chance? Who I'm mentioning? Yeah, sometimes, it's hard to know who I'm talking to, because you don't always have your name as your YouTube name, which is fair enough. I can understand that. So yeah, it just wouldn't fit. But then I had an idea. Now, do you remember me saying, doing my recreation outfit out the Vogue, and I'm going to use this fabric? Well, I had printed out the Melly Sews bias trim tank top, right? And this is it basically. But what I've ended up doing, now just to let you know, Melly Sews is also blank slate patterns. Now, I keep calling it black slate patterns on all my videos. It's not black slate, it's blank slate. It's probably, I do suspect I've got dyslexia, because I do get things a bit mixed up sometimes. But yeah, blank slate patterns. So now Melly Sews, she's got this free bias trim tank top pattern that you print at home, and it's one size only. And now, from what I remember, if you want other sizes, I think you can buy her patterns, and then you get downloadable instructions and everything. Now, I didn't have any instructions. Now, I remember when I found out about this pattern, I remember that she had a video, and she was putting woven bias on it, like woven bias strips round the edge of a knitted top. But that was never my intention. Oh, excuse me, that's got a bit stuck. I did consider this, hence the orange look, but I didn't end up using it. But I'll tell you what I used. And but I downloaded it to make that top to do the recreation, but I've ended up using it for this. Now, I'm going to have to print this pattern out again, unless I want this length again, because to get it to fit on my fabric, so I've had to trace it, because the front and the back are on top of one another, so I had to trace it before I cut it out, which I nearly didn't. I nearly cut it out and then realised, and I didn't have my laptop to reprint another one, you know, so I was in a bit of a pickle. But I did it, but I've taken 4.5 inches, like I'm 5'4", but I've taken 4.5 inches off the line where you lengthen or shorten to get it to fit. And this is it. Now, I did scratch myself with my nail putting it on, actually. Now, I haven't totally finished it now. Now, please excuse me. I've not long had my food and I'm a bit bloated, right? So my tummy might be popping out, but I've not finished the bottom of this yet. I've put on some very old-fashioned low-waisted shorts just so you can see what is going on. Now, I've not hemmed this or anything yet. I've literally just finished it on the sewing machine and I've just headed straight to you. So I just wanted you to see what kind of length that looks on me. That's with 4.5 inches off. And obviously I'm going to have to take it off. So if I don't want any midriff sticking out, I've got, like, shorts these days are higher waisted, aren't they? So if I wear some higher waisted shorts, I'm going to be up here. That's like my higher hip kind of bone here. So yes, but if I wanted midriff, then I'd put the lower kind of thing on. And I didn't follow, well, I didn't get any instructions with it because that's all I had. So I don't know if you have to find a video or if you bought it, you'd get the instructions. So I didn't know what the seam allowance was. I didn't know anything. Now, what I ended up doing is I've made, the first dress I ever made was a figure skating dress, and I think this was in 2019, right, a human dress anyway. So, and it's very stretchy fabric, and I used a lot of elastic in it and things. So basically, to start off with, I sewed it elastic, right, on the edge of the, on the inside edge, if you know what I'm saying. And then when I'd done that, all around the neckline, all the way around, I flipped it over and then I sewed the same edge again, and that's how I got this. However, what I didn't do, right, when you use elastic, you're meant to give it a slight little stretch as you're going along, just little bit, and I didn't. And the reason I didn't do it, because the designer used woven binding and didn't stretch it. She just eased it in, right? And I know it's a different kind of thing, but when I then had finished it, this just looked like it was all standing up and didn't look good at all. But I put it over my head, so all at this point was done. The shoulder seams I'd sewn. And I used 5/8 of an inch seam on that, actually, on the sewing machine. Then I did one shoulder, right, that's what I did. I sewed one shoulder, then I sewed the elastic all the way around to the other shoulder, and then when I decided what I wanted, then I sewed the other shoulder, basically, and then sewed the elastic in, and then I flipped it over and then sewed it down, right? But I was going to do the same with the arm, and actually when I tried it on, I could see it was all standing up and didn't look good because I hadn't stretched the elastic. But when I tried it on, I pulled it, and I thought, well, if this ends up really fitted, it's going to pull it flat, so it doesn't matter. So, well, I've been very lucky. It sits flat, doesn't it? But what I did was, I was going to use this same elastic. This is fold over elastic, look. I was going to use this then on the arms, but there just wasn't, the straps wasn't long enough. So I've ended up using this elastic, and it is a quarter, is it? Yeah, a quarter of an inch elastic, right. Now, how I decided on the side is I hadn't sewn up the side seams, and I measured it, and I just worked out 90% of what that measurement is, and that's what I cut my elastic. And I pinned it halfway, put it on the shoulder seam. I know it isn't always the halfway point, but I just did that. So just rushing it along, really, because in all honesty, when I saw this, I didn't think it was going to be a usable top, so I wasn't being too fussy. But I did exactly the same technique. I put this on the inside, stitched it on the raw edge with the elastic, and then when I got all the way around, I flipped it over on itself and then stitched it in the same place. So you end up with like the stitching there. Look, so you've got the end, and then I hope you can see, look. So I've done that. Can you see that's thicker elastic and that's thinner elastic? Then I did it on both sides. Then I decided, I didn't know what, I know I'd use 5/8 of an inch here, seam allowance. I didn't know what the seam allowance was, but because I did it on my sewing machine, and it works quite nice on the sewing machine when you're using knit and 5/8 of an inch. But on the overlocker, I like 3/8 of an inch, basically like a centimetre. So that's what I did actually. I kind of put it on, and I thought, well, if I go too big with a seam, it's going to be too small on me, I think. So so that's what I've done. I've just done 3/8 of an inch. And like I say, I've not finished the bottom, but I have got a cover stitch machine that I had for Christmas. And yeah, I like a good excuse to use it. So I don't know what colour thread is in the machine. Like, it'd probably be better just to sew it on my sewing machine, really, because I've got blue and yellow thread threaded in it. Do you know what I'm saying? I think I've got blue in the top thread and yellow in the bobbin, and it's been quite nice. It's kind of tied in with this, but yeah, I should use it really, shouldn't I? But what it is, I don't know. What shall I do? Because you need a lot of, it's changing all the threads. It's whether you can be bothered. And my machine isn't set up in a place I can just, at the moment, I can just go to it and use it. I'm going to have to get it out. I'll tell you what, I'll see how I feel. I think if I did it tonight, I think I might be have a can't be bothered attitude and just do whatever. But maybe if I sleep on it, go to it another day. Sometimes if you're feeling like that can't be bothered, want to rush it along, sometimes you're better off just leaving your sewing project and then going back when you feel like more in the mood for changing all the threads over. Do you know what I'm saying? That's how I work anyway. So yeah, so I was considering doing the fold over binding, which I've never done on knit actually. I've never sewn woven binding on a knit garment, but yeah, it would have looked quite nice, wouldn't it? But so basically I've sewn it like my figure skating dress, but I've just thought you might like to see this on actually. So it's I'm not really wearing the right sort of bra. I've got a flesh coloured bra on, so at least it doesn't look too bad. I'm just looking, there's this blinding light coming through the, I think it's like sunset time, and I think the sun's all coming through, but it's a racer back, so really you need a different kind of bra for a racer back. But with a flesh coloured bra, you can kind of get away with it, can't you? So I couldn't really match the stripes up with this because the stripes are all out anyway, look. So it's that kind of look at the back. But do you know what? I really like this. I must admit, I'd really gone off racer back vests on me. I don't know if it's like my age, because I am 40 and I've wore a lot of these through my 20s and my 30s, and actually I think I've had these shorts since my 20s actually. But that's the trouble, do you know, when you figure, because I do like try and be healthy, And I have always been keen on keeping fit. I haven't always gone to the gym and things, but you know, I used to have like a baby seat on my bike. Well, I used to have a bike. Well, I still got a bike, but a bike, and I had a baby seat on it where I'd have my youngest, and I had a 2-seater trailer, and I'd have my other 2 boys in it. And I think I was the talk of the town, and I'd cycle places just to go to mother and toddler groups and things, and I'd walk to mother and toddler groups with prams and pushchairs and things just to keep fit, basically, because I couldn't go to the gym. I couldn't really leave the children to do exercising, but I could load them into a bike and use it as a form of transport, and they loved it. They loved going on my bike, kind of thing. So yeah, my figure hasn't really changed. I know we all fluctuate a bit, but it hasn't changed all that much. But I'd kind of gone off this racer kind of thing, but I think it's because all of them were old and getting bobbly, and I probably hadn't bought any new ones, but maybe a nice new fresh, well, I know it's not totally fresh, it's made out of a second-hand dress, so how fresh is it? But do you know what, it doesn't look bobbly or anything. I don't think my mum would have given it me if it was in a terrible state. So yeah, it's really colourful and bright and summery, so I can really see me wearing this on the next lovely sunny day and putting on a pair of shorts if I get the hem done in time. So that is where I'm at the moment. I've got my hand stitching upstairs, which I told you about in my last video, my Mandy Shaw blocks, and I haven't done any more since I last told you about it, actually. We've just been busy, you know what I've been telling you what life has been like at the moment and things. And my eldest son had his driving theory test, right, and he'd been doing the mock exams, practicing, and he arrived 5 minutes late to his test, and they wouldn't see him. And my husband had actually phoned him in the morning to say, do not be late, because my husband had an apprentice for 2 years and he was 1 minute late and they wouldn't see him, and you don't get your £30 back either. So if you've got any young people in the UK, maybe it's just this area, I don't know, but tell them, don't be late for your driving theory test, because you will lose your £30 and they won't see you. But and you have to wait ages to get another one. But my son's been lucky enough to get a cancellation, and guess when it is? Friday the 13th. So maybe that's why he's managed to get a cancellation. We couldn't hurry him along in the morning because he stopped at his girlfriend's house, and he's actually at his girlfriend's now. It was her 18th birthday yesterday, and they've gone out into Birmingham to like celebrate her birthday. I think they were going to somewhere called Snobs. I think Snobs has been around a long time. I don't know if I've ever been there, but I didn't say message me when you get home, because I thought, well, he's not going to, and I said just message me in the morning, and he hadn't, and I messaged him saying, did you have a good night? Not, are you alive, as we want to say as a mother, don't we? Are you living and breathing? But he said, yeah, he had a good night but got a sore head, so bless him. So I don't know when he's coming home, but maybe I have to go and get him in a bit, I don't know. So I can hear doors going. What it is, I've managed to get a bit of sewing time, sewing this and chatting with you, because my husband has been playing in his garden room. So while I was at yoga, he was watching a friendly, and he'd been down on his pool table, and now he's been playing with his decks kind of thing. So I've managed to get a bit of sewing time, which is nice, isn't it? So, and I've got to sing his praises. I told him I'm going to sing his praises on the next video. Right, I can make the laptop bag. Oh, paper cut. Oh gosh, I've just got a paper cut on this. This is this. Oh, that's what I've called it, look. Melly sews my Vogue vest. It's actually called the Bias Trim Tank Top by Melly Sews, but I've labelled it my Vogue vest. But obviously this isn't my Vogue one. But if I want a longer version, I'm obviously going to have to print that out again. And now I'm going to be able to. Please excuse this horrible and dodgy sign on here, I once cut out my name in vinyl and I stuck it on my Cricut machine. This was years ago. I've not got one of these Cricut makers that a lot of people have got now. It's like an old Explorer, and this was the negative bit that I was left. And I just thought, I'll stick it on my computer. What I could do is I could spray here and then peel this off, but this isn't coming off all that easy. But my husband, he took it to a computer shop and he got the screen fixed. So it's definitely working because I've opened it up on the drive home, but I've not been on it yet because we only picked it up yesterday evening just before the shop closed. So when I get off the phone to you, I've got to turn off my sewing machine and cover it up, turn my overlocker off and cover it up. And yeah, I'm going to have a little look. These will probably need to do some updates now because it hasn't been on for a while. You know what computers are like. Well, if you've got one, they're a nightmare. But I just wanted to, I've got these out now. I showed you these ages ago and I can't quite remember where I got them from. They might have been Amazon or eBay, and it's knicker, fold over knicker elastic, and I have used it for pants, and that's what I got this from, and it was a lovely selection. I can just about get one pair of pants out of these, just about, really. There isn't much to spare. So I think if you was a bigger size than me, if you ever found these, when I showed you, it says 12 fold over rolls, I'd buy 2 packs of them, because so you'd have 2 packs of each colour, because it was a bit, you know, it was a bit of a tight fit trying to, like, you know, get one pair of pants out the same elastic. Right, I've been having a sort out in my bedroom today. What was I trying to find? I was trying to find something and I can't remember. Oh, it was the original plans of this house when it was first built. Because with my husband, you know, when he was doing the fence. Actually, I'll show you the finished fence that he's done now. And we've been letting the chickens out again. What we've made a decision is we've not let them out. We're not letting them out on quiet days, right? Just in case a fox can get over, because my neighbour has got things propped up her fence, so a fox could probably use it to jump over. Whether it would get back again or not, I don't know, but that could be game over for the chickens, couldn't it? But we're doing it because there's a lot of workers around at the moment, because there's been the farmhouse, which was the farmhouse for my house, because these were the workers' cottages, that has been renovated and it had quite a bit of land. And what the developers have done with the extra land, they've built another house on it, so there's 2 houses now. So there's been a lot of work just a few doors down going on, and then there's been the work over at the school that's getting built, it's already a junior school right over there, but now they're building the infants up here, and this next door, they have had the builders round doing a pitch roof on their garage. Excuse me, I need a drink. Pepsi Max. Not as healthy as my water and things. And this neighbour, they're building a gym in the garden now, so there's been loads of work going on, so it's quite safe in the middle of a weekday to basically let the chickens out, because the foxes will come nowhere near. But we just know when it's like, you know, weekends, evenings, you know what I'm saying, when it all goes a bit quiet, it's better to not. But it's been, because I felt like, even though, like, I lost a beloved chicken, and you know, thank you so much for people messaging on my last video about my chicken. Yeah, it is really upsetting, but I felt like I'd lost all my chickens because we wasn't letting them out then. I wasn't getting the enjoyment of watching them scratch around. They were just stuck in their run, and it's just really not the same experience. But it's been so lovely watching them scratch around again. And my husband said, you know, when I feel ready, you know, he's going to take me, and we'll probably I get introduce two chickens to the current chickens we've got. Now, I have introduced chickens before. It's not always the easiest things to do, but I do know all the tricks in the trade kind of thing to introduce new chickens, and I have been rather successful in the past. I actually made vests, fabric vests with elastic to go around their wings when I've had new ones, when, you know, because one chicken would go on their back when they passed them, and I was worried they were going to get really sore, you know, because chickens, they're lovely little creatures, but they can be rather nasty if you introduce new ones. So it wouldn't be good to introduce one new chicken, but two. Well, introducing three would probably be better, to the new ones outnumber the old ones, but our chicken coop houses 10 to 12 chickens apparently, but when we've got to keep them in the run, I think 2 to 3 maximum really is the ideal thing. So yeah, I don't really know what to do at the moment. Maybe if we set up the walk-in run again, because we've took the walk-in run down that we used to have, but we've still got it, so we could get that set back up again. So when they are enclosed and not being let out, maybe then. And the thing is, we've got a little trip away to Cornwall as well, so I don't think it's the right time. Maybe next year, in the spring, maybe it might be a nice time. I don't know, maybe sooner, I don't know. We'll just see what happens really. So great news, laptop, and I've got something exciting to tell you. Now, do you know the laptop bag is to do with the VIP Crafty Monkeys club, which I've now cancelled the membership, but I think the payment had already gone out for this month. But I'm sorry, I can't even tell you what this month's project is, and I don't even know if it's sewing, in all honesty. I think they do all number of things. I haven't been able to check because I'm logged in on here and I don't know my login, and it's saved on here. But I've actually won a prize. Actually, the Crafty Monkeys have messaged me, and it was the month that it was Janet Clare's, and yes, I've won a prize, and basically I think I can pick a virtual class that you normally have to pay for on the website. So that's really exciting. So that's what I'm going to have a look at actually. When I get off here, I'm going to go and have a look and see where to claim my prize. Actually message them and see if there's something I want to do. I think I've got a year to claim it, so if there's not anything I'm interested in, it might be a future one. But while I was having a sort out, that was what I was telling you, wasn't I? When I was having a sort out, I was looking for the old plans, because we've got the original plans for this house. They were done in 1920 something. We found this old drain so down by the fence, so we want to know if it was here. We want to know a bit more about it basically. We want to know if we can use it, because that would be great, because we've got a sunny flow on the toilet in the garden room, but if we could tap into it, and it would mean we'd got a proper, it would be better for the waste really. So yeah, we'll just have a look. But I've found this at the side of my bed, and this is the original pattern I bought for my middle son, who does cosplay, but he kept changing his mind on what he wanted, but we've gone back to this. So he wants this in orange, and do you know what, he sent me some photographs of this. It's an anime character that he wants to go to the Comic-Con as. If I can find the photos, I'll pop some photographs, but that's how he wants to go. But the plan was it to be a home education project, we do it together, but I'm hoping, he's been home educated since he was about 13, something like that, and I would like to get him into college, but I just can't see it happening. He has got some difficulties, and we've been through all the college courses, and he can find a problem with all of them, right? And I just can't see him getting back into college. He has got a statement of special needs, and basically, unfortunately, 4 out of 5 people with the special needs condition in this country are actually unemployed, right? So his future in the world of work isn't all that promising, really. So I don't know. And he wasn't coping with senior school. He had a 1-to-1 all through primary school. So how is he going to get on in college? He has got this thing called an EHC plan. I always get that wrong, but it's out of date. I'm waiting for someone to get in contact with me to update it, but I think they're just overrun and no one's getting it. I know I've been on the phone and just nobody gets back to me. So I think we'd have to just apply for a place and then hope they get in contact with me in the meantime. But I can't even get him to apply for the course because everything that he's got a problem with it. So I just don't know what his future holds. There is some things called the Prince's Trust, which if he doesn't get into college, there might be that something he could start in January next year, and it's like a confidence building thing and team building. So I'd probably look into doing something like that with him, but I just don't know at the moment. So I might end up getting him to make this with me. If it doesn't work out getting into college September, this is something we can work on together, because I'd just continue home educating him basically if he doesn't. It'd be lovely if he got into college, wouldn't it? But yeah, but you know, I've got to do what's best for him. And I found a Love Sewing magazine. I've just brought them down to file, and I found quite a number of these create and craft magazines down the side of my bed. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. So I might have a flick through. I don't know. Yeah, I'll have a flick through, see if there's anything I want to keep. But I don't know whether I should start, you know, just taking the projects out of magazines and then getting rid of the other bits that are getting a bit old. I don't know. So far I've kept all my magazines, and I just don't buy any new ones very often anyway. I'm on a magazine ban, and I've got, surprise, surprise, a Christmas knitting magazine. And I think I bought this, I think it was when my youngest son had emergency surgery, do you remember? And I bought this, and it had a supplement in it, and I actually knitted an owl out of the supplement. I felt really bad for him, and there was all these animals, and I let him choose one, and I got the nice luxury yarn, and I knitted the owl for him, and yeah, he loved it. But I haven't knitted any more of those creatures, but that, I think that was the magazine that came with it, and that's been up in my bedroom. I got this book called The Independent Guide to Embellishing. I think this has got a DVD with it, but it looks more like card making things, which I do make cards, but not very often at the moment. Mainly Chris. I find myself doing paper craft round, like, you know, Easter, Christmas and things, and you know, those, and Halloween. And I found this. I went to Country File Live 2019. We were planning to go back 2020 and it didn't happen, and I don't know if it's going to happen this year either. But yeah, it was lovely. But it was sponsored by Quilter. Now I got all excited. I thought, oh, there's going to be sewing related things there. Quilter are there. Wow. I don't know if I just didn't see anything, but Quilter is like a big business basically, and they were the sponsor, and there was something going on, but it was nothing to do with quilting. Well, not that I saw anyway. And I was a bit disappointed, but there was like things, mind you, it leaves you wanting things that you're not going to have. There was like this lovely like Arga stand with all these Argas, and I just like, you know, was like drooling over them. And what else? Log burners. Now I do hope to someday have a log burner. When we extend, we should have an actual living, because you know we use the garden room, don't we, for sitting in the bedrooms, mainly the kitchen. We're going to, because this used to be the living room, which I overtook, in the past. So we will have a living room again. It will actually be where the kitchen is now. The kitchen will go in the extended bit, and then it will be basically where the kitchen is now. And I hope to have a log burner. I don't know how will we even be allowed log burners in it? I don't know. They're a bit funny now, aren't they, with the environment and things. I don't know how environmentally friendly is burning wood, but you know, it's just, you know, you might put it on at Christmas, mightn't you, on a you know, a few snowy days a year. It's not going to really be that damaging, is it really? But yes, it was lovely. And who else was there? A cooking thing. Was it Kenwood? It was this expert chef thingy. It's called the Cook Expert. Don't know if you've heard of it. And you put stuff in the bowl and it heats up and things. That was there. I had a little play with that. And actually, I knew the lady running it from online. I've chatted to her. We're in the same group. We follow each other on Instagram, and she was doing the demonstration. So I don't think she watches my YouTube, but if you do, hi Linda. But it's funny because she's into quilting as well, and she just happened to be demoing this Cook Expert thing, which I didn't buy. It's probably about £1,000 or something. But yeah, there was a lot of things to drool over, so you're probably better to look at what's going on the shows. The falconry display was really good. There was a Birdman. Yeah, there was the ducks, the runner ducks. It was just a lovely, lovely day. And yeah, I had some lovely photographs. The boys had a lovely time, they did. So I do recommend the Country File live show if you ever get the chance to go. We would definitely go back. We had a fabulous time. So yeah, so these were the things I found down the side of my bed. I'm a bit messy, aren't I, really? But I'm going to file them somewhere else. And what I'm thinking of doing with this, I think I'm going to do some scrapbooking with it, actually, because there's some just lovely pictures. There, look, there's the runner ducks, look. And it's lovely matte paper in this programme, so I think it will go lovely in my scrapbook. I might have a country-themed scrapbook. It's a country and nature scrapbook, and I think that will bring me much joy, because it just means I can get to keep things I like the look of. And I actually cut some things out of that Vogue magazine that were like country looking things that will be nice. So do you know what, I've chatted to you for 37 minutes and it's not all about sewing, so do apologise. But yes, what I'll do is now I'll make sure when I come back it's sewing related, but I don't know what I'm going to be sewing next in here. But I'll show you this when I've finished hemming it. And I need to photograph Otterline, don't I, for social media. I haven't posted a photograph on social media for for crafts for ages. I'm Claire, if you're interested, I'm Claire Who Makes Things on Instagram. And basically everything I post on there does go over to Periwinkle Cottage Crafts on Facebook, basically, but it just displays it differently, because with Instagram you have one square and you can have other ones, but as you're scrolling you'll only see one picture unless you flick across. Facebook, it kind of puts it out on a grid, so you might see a photograph that you didn't see on Instagram because you didn't flick. It does just work a little bit differently, but it's quite nice. I used to have to post twice and things, and it was a bit of a nightmare. So if you're interested in following me on social media, but as it happens, I'm doing more on YouTube than I am on my social media. I've been chatting away on here, showing you things and not photographing anything and putting it on there, so I should start doing it. So thank you so much for joining me so far, and I'll definitely show you the fence and the rubble that we've got, and anything of interest I'll come back to you and let you know. So thank you so much for watching so far, and I'll see you in the next bit. Bye. Doing a test piece on the cover stitch machine. So I decided to finish the sewing of my top this evening, and I've used the cover stitch machine. That's my cover stitch machine. And how I've finished it off, basically that's where I started it. You can kind of see a little bit where the start is. It looks a bit weird because basically that's overlapped by 1.5 centimetres to end it, and then I've tied off the edges at the back. But that's how we're looking all the way around, and it looks, and I've used the white thread that was already in, and that's what it's looking like on the back. So I'm really pleased with that finish, and that's what it looks on the inside. It basically, it just covers that edge up, look. So on the one side, I've used the 3 threads, 3 needle, and that's what it just seals that edge, even though it's a raw edge. But it looks very professional, doesn't it? And I'm really pleased with it. So anyway, I'm going to finish sewing this evening, and I'll see you in the next bit. Right, welcome back. I've had such an exciting day, actually. It's nearly 7 o'clock on Monday the 9th of August, and it's been quite exciting because I've took my youngest son to the orthodontist, who's got a brace, and he had to have a baby tooth removed a while ago, and he was going to have oral surgery at the hospital to basically attach a clamp to a tooth that was growing sideways like this in his gum that they said that would never come down, and they were going to attach a clamp to it and a chain and attach it to his brace, pull it down. It would take time, and it may or may not work, and if it doesn't work, we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. But he waited. Basically, he missed his appointment. The hospital said that they wrote a letter to us, but we never received that letter. So he missed his appointment. But as it happens, it's come down all on its own. So I've took him to the orthodontist this evening, and they was as excited about it as I was. So, but unfortunately, they can't book him in to have the bracket fitted to his tooth that's come down, and they're going to put the brace on the bottom teeth, and they can't do that till October half term, unfortunately, because they're so busy. But yeah, but that's really, really good news. And today, wow, I'll tell you what else has been happening. I finished my top. You saw a little bit of footage of how I finished off my top. And this is how it looks off. Can you see what I'm saying about the front? Because I didn't stretch the elastic, it kind of sagged down. But because it's so fitted, it just sits flat. So I probably would have, if I made it again, pull the elastic. But I did pull the elastic on the arms, just a gentle tug along, and I finished it off, and I actually wore it to the gym. I wasn't planning on doing that. Just this morning I was rushing around because I'd made my youngest son had really wanted some waffles, and I promised him breakfast waffles to make it like on Sunday morning, and we'd run out of milk, and so I couldn't do it. So I've done them this morning, and so I was like, it took me a bit of time, and I got a Pilates class at the gym, so I just grabbed it and put it on, and I wore it to the gym, and I happened to have a photograph of me wearing it. Now, this wasn't planned by me. I've met a Malaysian lady at the gym, and we've started to become friends, and we've exchanged numbers and things, and she asked me, she said, "Oh, can I take your photograph?" she said, because I want to set you as a picture on your profile on my phone. And I'd just come out of a gym class, and I was thinking, this isn't probably not the best time to have a photograph taken, but it was only Pilates. You don't really get that hot and sweaty. So I've actually got a photograph because she sent it to me, and here, here it is. So yeah, that's me myself. But I thought it's quite funny because look at this bit, right? Now that's the back, but see this bit here? It looks a bit skin colour, doesn't it? So I think it looks like on that photograph, like that's my bare flesh. What do you think? I'll try and keep the picture on there as long as I can. So yes, I've actually got a photograph in it the day I put it on, but I didn't even know if I was going to put this on Instagram or anything, in all honesty. I don't know. But yeah, maybe I will. But yeah, I must start photographing my makes and putting them on Instagram. Now, I can't stay on long because I've actually ordered some desserts in, and yeah, and they're going to be arriving soon, so I've got to be alert on, you know, for the door and everything. So my husband, basically, after I've had my dessert, he's going to be watching a Liverpool friendly, so I'm going to, excuse me, hello, oh, I don't know who that was. They probably realised I was filming and thought against it. But he's going to be watching a friendly, so it gives me a brilliant opportunity to get in here, but I haven't decided on what I'm going to start. So watch this space. And I have done a tiny little bit of red work today, just while I was waiting for because the orthodontist, you have to go in the car park, and because of COVID, phone them to say we're here, and they phone you when your child can go in. So I sat and did some red work, but when I got back at home and I got out the car, my little suitcase, my sewing suitcase, ended up falling on basically the drive, open twice. Oh, is he here? I think the food man's here with our dessert. So anyway, I'm going to go, but I'll be back soon and let you know what's going on in the world of sewing in my house. So see you in the next bit. Right, I decided to pop back. I had an ice cream, and I like it a little bit firmer than that. So I've popped it in the freezer, so I can come and chat to you for a bit while that firms up a little bit. But yeah, because you think of what's so exciting, the orthodontist. Wow, what happened is, it's to do with the chickens and foxes and something we found. Basically, my husband, he's done a lovely job of this bit of fence that the final bit of fence that we needed. And yeah, I'm just really proud. So I like to, you know, sing his praises kind of thing. And what it is, foxes can't get over 6-foot fences unless they've got something to leap off, right? You've got to see them a bit more like cats than you do dogs. Now, when I was in my neighbour's garden looking at her, well, not her duck and chick, well, so she thinks, but I think her family have tricked her into having pets because she wasn't feeling ready for it, basically, because she'd lost all her chickens. Well, when I was looking at them the other day, when I showed you that bit of footage in the last video, they've got a lot of things leaning up the side of the fence. They're my neighbour's brother's things, like, because he's moving, and it's like a climbing frame and like a barn gate kind of thing. And so I knew a fox could easily leap off those into our garden, so we couldn't rule out, just because our garden now is totally fenced off with 6-foot fencing. Well, it's actually higher on the other side, that we can't rule out foxes. So anyway, so we're being quite careful. We are letting them free range, but we're being careful about the times, when it's at busier times, basically. But what's happened is, last night we did have really disturbed sleep because our eldest dog, Holly, the white dog that you've probably seen before, she kept barking and barking, and it started about 1 o'clock in the morning, and it was going on to about 5 in the morning, and we were up and down, and my husband said, yeah, there's definitely a fox in the garden. But what we think had happened is, we think a fox had got over about 1 o'clock in the morning and was stuck in the garden. I don't think the fox could get back out again, and then the dogs ran out and were running around, and yeah, so we didn't know. But I think eventually, because we didn't know if we were going to wake up to a fox in the garden in the morning, we're thinking, you know, this was the fox that's ate Betty, you know. I probably would have just lifted the fence and let the fox go, feeling a bit bitter kind of thing. But you know, it's a wild animal, you know, they do what they do to survive, don't they? I don't dislike foxes, I love all wild creatures, but it's a bit heartbreaking if you're thinking this is a fox, but I wouldn't do anything to it. But yeah, the fox had gone, but we've had a look round, right? So we was looking round, my youngest son and I, to see how the fox had got out, had it dug a hole, because we'd have to fill in the hole, or what was there around. Well, my husband has cut a lot of bushes down and things, and they're all piled high, and there's like a bark, like a branch, like a thick, you know, trunk basically, leaning up the fence. I reckon that when it got a bit lighter maybe, and it could start to see, I don't know what their vision's like really, I think it's probably climbed up there and leaped over, so that's how it's got out in the end. But we found something, right? So I'm going to send you over, right? Now please excuse the screaming and the chatting, but this is a video that I was recording. My husband was in the house, so you hear me saying, "What is it, Chris?" Because I'm saying it to my husband for the film, and but I was there with my youngest son Jack. But we found something in the garden, behind the garden room, and yeah, and basically we've got it in the house now. We're going to basically keep it, but I'm going to show you the footage and then I'll come back and I'll speak about it a bit more. Oh gosh, hang on, it's Chris, what is it? Where is it now? I can't see.
You can't see it, don't you?
I can't see it on my film. Oh, there.
You can't see any legs, but
what the hell is it? Is it? Ah! It might be a snake. Is it a snake?
With all of the spots on it, it does look like a caterpillar, because you know.
How would a caterpillar be that big?
Well, we don't know how big they can be, so you know.
Chris, what is it?
I don't know if a snake would be that short.
So there you go. Basically, it's a massive moth. We've filled now that tub with lots of leaves and things that it'd been eating, and we've looked up how to care for a caterpillar, and it's basically, well, in the Midlands we have our own name. I didn't know it was a Midlands thing. When I was little, you'd call a really big moth a babby. We called them babby owler. I'd be screaming babby owler if the big moth came in. But I think some people call them bobby owlers and some people call them bob owlers. But I found out from the power of the internet, it's a Midlands term, and I don't think anybody else calls them bob owlers, bobby owlers or babby owlers. It was probably my little child talk that was saying the babby owler screaming when they'd get the one come in flying round the light and then it come darting at you. But this basically huge moth, I forgot what it's called now, it was like some elephant something, is huge moth, and it's going to be gorgeous, so we're going to do our best to take it. Well, it's actually in my youngest son's bedroom, and he's like really enthusiastic about it, so we're going to try and keep it, because we don't know how it would have survived out there. We've got 4 cats, 2 dogs and things, you know what I'm saying, so we thought we'd give it a real good try and give it its best chance, us bringing it up basically, and we know what it eats because we can see all the little bite marks, so we don't have to put holes in the lid. It just says to open it every other day, and to put fresh leaves in there every 3 days. So yeah, we're all quite excited about it actually. So I'm going to go now. I might be finished filming for this evening. I'm going to see if my ice cream has firmed up, but I am going to be back in my craft room while my husband's watching football. Whether I'll be filming or not, I don't know, but it just depends if there's anything of interest. So thank you so much for joining me so far. I know we're nearing the end of the video now because of how much footage I've got, but next time I pop on, it might be to finish. So thank you so much for joining me so far, and I'll see you in the next video. Right, welcome back to the final part of my show and tell. Now I thought you might like to see what I've been getting up to since I last spoke to you. It is now Thursday. Hang on, excuse me a moment. Sorry, my nose starts running, doesn't it? It is Thursday the 12th of August, and I'm actually filming this first thing in the morning. Excuse the noise outside, the work is going on. I think all the footage I've done this week has been like in the evening, and I've been looking a bit tired looking, but I'm actually doing this in the morning. So what do I want to show you now? I did get back in here when my husband was watching a friendly, and I started doing some sewing, and then I did a little bit more of it last night because he bought his washer home from the office, and he was doing some pressure washing of something in the back garden. This was after dinner last night, so yeah, I managed to get back in here, and it is this, right? I don't know if you can make out what it is. I haven't quite finished it yet. It's a sleeping bag for Luna. So I've made the actual sleeping bag part, and then you have to put like the snaps, and I've done little hearts. I don't know if how well you can see that on the camera, but I've done little hearts, and I've got to put some more. How many? Let's have a look at the instructions. 1, 2. I've got to put a few at the bottom as well, and I'm not going to be too fussy on how many they tell you. I'll probably do 1 and 2 maybe, or 1, 2, 3, and there's one on that corner there, and it's lovely, and it's a part of this summer subscription box I've got. Excuse me a moment. I've got loads of these snap things out all over my desk. I've got those. I was trying to pick a colour. These were the ones that had the hearts in them. I've got those ones, and I've actually got 2 of these things that you put them on, my original one and one that came in a box that I got quite a good deal on once on Crafter's Companion. So I ended up with 2 of the machines, but it's handy to have because if you misplace one. But basically, do you remember this box that I got? Luna Lappin's Creative Year, and I told you it's a subscription box, but I don't have a subscription. We was given the opportunity to have the last box of the year, and I decided to put my name down for it, and I got it. And this is one of the projects in it. It's a sleeping bag, an eye mask. I don't know if there's a pattern for the bunting. See, there's some bunting in the background. I'll have a look actually. Yeah, oh yeah, there is. It says mask and bunting. So I've not yet made the eye mask and the bunting because I haven't finished the sleeping bag, but yeah, there's a bit. I'm guessing these are the bits we're going to have to use. There's this left from cutting out the sleeping bag, and this. Now what you have to be careful of, now I'm quite glad I went to make the sleeping bag first actually. I've not tried Luna in it yet. These are the pattern sheets you get with the kit, with the book basically. It's this one and this one. But to get the sleeping bag, it's overlapped. So those are all clothes pieces, but can you see a red line? And it wasn't, I think it printed out wrong. So I did have to tinker with this a little bit when I traced it. But see that red line? That's the sleeping bag shape. Look, there was a problem there. So I just had to basically sort that out when I did my tracing. Have I got it here? Yeah, that's why I've got that bit, because I had to mess about with it. But that's the sleeping bag pattern. And you put that bit on the folded edge, and you put that at the top of the fabric and cut it like that. It was boggling my mind a little bit, but I just did what it said, and it worked out, so that's okay. So let me have a look at it actually. Yeah, looking at it, I can't quite make it out. Yeah, but anyway, it worked out. I did what it said and it worked out. And yeah, and it unclips here like that, and then Luna can go in it. So I know I've heard some people don't get on with these snap things, right? Now I can understand why, but you've just got to really understand them. You've got to understand you've got to use the male and the female part, and then even then you can have problems. So sometimes it can flatten when you're pinching them. Let me find a female part pattern and male. Sometimes, say this is this the female? Yeah, say if you're putting the female one on and you've done it, sometimes it can squash the plastic a bit weird, and then you can struggle to clip them together. If you have a look at it, you can normally see if that's happened. Just get your little screwdriver and just dig around it. Just make some space. You can manipulate it and then they're fine. I did have to do that with a couple of these. So yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? It's lovely. So I'll look forward to making the little eye mask. So you got what you need in it to make it, but you didn't get the snaps, basically. You needed your own snaps and tools and things. So I had to trace that. So now I should be able to, if I want to. I don't think any of the other patterns are overlapping, so I will be able to cut those out now. And just to warn you, if you've got this and you haven't used it yet, if you want to make the apron, the ladies' apron pinny that's in it, you also have to trace that bit out first. Now, I don't know if I want to make the ladies' pinny, but I've traced it anyway, because I might change my mind. So that is what I got up to when I got back into my craft room. So basically I'm going to finish this video, but I'm going to continue sewing a little bit of the lunar things out of this. What it is, the lunar box was in here and I'd misplaced this magazine. So I thought, now that they've managed to reunite, I just thought I should probably try and sew some of these things in it. And at least I know I haven't got to buy anything because I've got what I need. So yeah, I thought I'll make a few of these things out of this. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make things I haven't got to buy anything. But I have made one purchase. The assembly line, a pattern maker, which I've never bought a pattern off before, but I have admired their patterns, did a pattern sale with a code. I think it was called, I don't know if it's over now, but it was for 24 hours. It might still be on. So I'll post this video as quick as I can, called Fab 40, I think it was. It was on their Instagram, so have a look, and it was on there. And I bought a pattern, and it's the like a shirt with like a mandolin collar with a grown-on sleeve, and I've printed it and I've stuck all my pieces together with my nice natural glue. This glue is gorgeous. I think I've showed you this, Cocacina it's called, and it's all natural and it smells of almonds. Like, I don't encourage glue sniffing, but this is all natural and it's gorgeous. It's really gorgeous. So I've stuck it together, but you do have to give it a bit of drying time. But they're laid out now in my hallway. But I don't know if I've got any shirt fabric, but sometimes when I buy a PDF, I kind of like to just get it printed out straight away or sorted so I don't forget about it. So, and now I've got my laptop, I can do that. So yeah, so whether a shirt will be nearby, I don't know, because I don't know if I've got the right fabric. So I'm going to just basically just do what feels right with my sewing. That's what I do anyway. I just think, oh, what shall I sew? I might just come in here and have a look. I think, oh yes, I'll get that. And that's what's happened. I didn't know what I was going to sew, and I'd reunited these and I thought, yeah, why not? I'm going to do a bit of this. So I'm going to show you one little thing before I go. Whether you're interested, I don't know. But I went to the wedding, didn't I? Not last Saturday, the Saturday before. And my dad, I don't know if I mentioned this, he was the best man for his sister at her wedding, because obviously their parents have died now. My nan died when I was about 3 years old. I do remember my nan. She was really lovely. And my granddad died when I was about 17, 18, and I'm 40 now. So my dad gave his sister, he's got two sisters, it's his youngest, he gave away. So I'll pop a photograph of them on now. So that's lovely. Like, we haven't seen the professional photographs yet. So yeah, it'd be nice to see those. And unfortunately, I got blisters on that night from dancing, and we're nearly 2 weeks on now. and I'm still got plasters on. My feet are so bad. I've got one blister I don't have to have a plaster on now, but the two I do. I was letting them get dry, but it was just really driving me crazy. So I'm keeping the plasters on now, keeping cream on them, and they seem to be improving now. But yeah, I've been really, really in a lot of pain, and it's actually woken me up this morning with pain, but it did me a favour because I've got a really early ice skating today. I'm not normally ice skating this early today, but yeah, and I wanted to wash my hair, so I've managed to get up and wash my hair. So yeah, I'm just going to finish this coffee and I'm going to go. So thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Sew and Tell, and I'll get filming as soon as I can when I've got things to show you. So thank you so much, and I'll see you next time, and have a great weekend, and I'll definitely be back next week, I should imagine, with another video. So take care, bye.